Hello, my beautiful creative creatures. Here's part 2 of the Ray Higdon Elomir Zoom call. Sorry, my kids in the background. I'm just do it right here. Alright, so we're gonna watch part 2. Let me know what you think. I know I could have done a longer video, but I just decided it's not worth doing all that. So I hope you enjoy. Please let me know what you think. And yeah, let's get started.
Eludes most network marketers, and they're literally confused on why they don't have more success. And pipeline is the answer for anything performance-based, period. Anything performance-based has to do with pipeline. Anything performance career-based has to do with pipeline. Pipeline is how many people are you talking to, following up with, setting appointments with, possibly, depending on the company, doing demonstrations for, sending samples to, whatever. Now, it's the same in anything performance-based careers. A realtor, pipeline. Car sales, pipeline. Right? Literally anything that's performance-based, pipeline. And so, my wife, she's now, as of this year, she's a luxury realtor here in Naples, Florida, and that's her passion. She loves real estate. She's flipped a lot of property. She's done a lot of investments, and, she knows her stuff. And so, but even with a license, right, she had to go through all this training, and it sounded horrible, and she got her license. But even with that license, if she doesn't tell anyone she's a realtor, she doesn't make any money, and no one's confused by that fact. No one's confused. Now, in network marketing, you have all these anti-MLMers, right? They're quite the crew, and
of course, let's talk about the haters. I love hearing this stuff personally, because I do a lot of, if you ever want to see me jump on lives on TikTok, because I do jump on a lot of different ones and talk about different subjects on there. But the amount of flack that we get from MLMers, when I'm not trying to be rude to them, but most times I get a lot of hate from them, from MLM reps, which, okay, I understand. And I don't ever try to retaliate. I actually do what the slogan says, like, do it with kindness. So, and if they don't accept what I have to say, that's understandable. But the fact is that anti-MLM should, yes, definitely get better, working towards goals of shutting the MLMs down because of how predatory they are. And the fact that people waste more money on the products that they're buying for themselves when they say that they're selling it, when they don't. They rarely sell it probably as much as they say they're buying it. So when it comes to that, us and anti-MLM are trying to, or at least I would like to work to achieving goals of shutting the companies down because of how predatory they are, and the fact that they've been deemed a pyramid scheme. Granted, are they going to agree with that? No, they're not going to. They'll have cognitive dissonance, which, if you want to check out some more cognitive dissonance on various topics, TikTok has a lot of good ones, which are entertaining to watch, in my opinion. But you can let me know what you guys think, and let's continue on, because I love knowing that they're going to talk about us again.
These are people that joined a network marketing company, didn't do the work, and now complain about the.
Also, I joined one. I joined It Works years ago, and only for like a week, and then I got my refund. And then I almost joined the Green Frog or the Rainbow Vacuum one, because I saw it was a job opening, and I never got paid for the training that I went to, which wasn't really training. So it wasn't an extensive training, I should say, like normal companies do. So I did not realize till afterward that it was an MLM, and I was like, oh, geez. So there's that. But they told me they didn't want me. That's the funny part, is that company, the Rainbow Vacuum Company, was the one that said they didn't want me. So take that with a grain of salt, what he's saying, but I found it funny that they're like, oh, we're looking for other people. Okay. So, yeah. But the fact that he's like, oh, they didn't try hard enough. I mean, sure, I didn't try hard enough, but also I don't want to recruit people. Like, I just felt weird when I tried to do it works. So, yeah.
Network marketing promises that they believed or they were told or whatever. And it just shouldn't be a mystery. And so when people come to me and say, Ray, you don't understand, man, I'm in a tough place and, I want to be a top earner. I'm right where you were, man. I want to make it happen. I know with one question, if they're on the path. How many people last week did you ask were open to your product or business? One question. That's all I need. And so if it's zero or single.
Jake, stop. What? Jake, go lay down.
Hey, you don't understand, man. I'm in a tough place and, I want to be a top earner. I'm right where you were, man. I want to make it happen. I know with one question, if they're on the path. How many people last week did you ask were open to your product or business? One question. That's all I need. And so if it's zero or single digits, then hey, they may go on to make some money, but they're just not going to be a top earner. That's just not the deal. That's not how it works. And there should be no qualms about it, right? Like that shouldn't be like, how dare you, sir? No, it's just math. I mean, I find like I had some super recruiters on my team. I had some people that were really good. I was good at recruiting for sure. And I had some really good recruiters. And the best recruiters I've ever met close about 30%. And so if they talk to 10 people, they'll probably get 3 people on, right? Unless they're using some, like a funnel or something like that is more qualifying on the front end. But if they speak to 10 people, maybe they get 3, maybe 4. And so that's if you're a super recruiter. If you're not a super recruiter, you're getting 5 to 10% probably. And so if you work those numbers, backward, I'm talking about recruiting. Now, product a little different. You can have a product, and if you lead with the product, you can close more than that. But at the end of the day, it's how many people you're talking to, following up with, setting appointments with, et cetera. If you close 100% of the business you reached out to, how would that look? For some, it'd still be 0 because they're not reaching out to anybody. And so if you're not reaching out to anybody, you're making what you should be making. And, I know that may seem in the company. So she did that part right. And this guy says, I've tried a bunch of it's career-based, has to do with pipeline. Pipeline is how many people are you talking to, following up with, setting appointments with, possibly, depending on the company, doing demonstrations for, sending samples to, whatever. Now, it's the same in anything performance-based careers. A realtor, pipeline. Car sales, pipeline. Right? Literally anything that's performance-based, pipeline. And so, my wife, she's now, as of this year, burner. That's just not the deal. That's not how it works. And there should be no qualms about it, right? Super recruiter. Point. Now, under these, the next 2 actually fall under pipeline, and that's posture and position. These dictate your percentage of close. This will help you with what percentage of the people you talk to are you actually getting to, to move forward, right? And so what's posture? You've probably heard that term. Most people have. I'd heard the term too, but no one had ever given me like a definition of it. Like no one ever hit me with something that was like, oh, that makes sense. And so for me, the definition that I created is posture is the belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. The belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. Now, every person on here has posture around something. Most don't have posture around network marketing. So if someone's naysaying you, if a family member's picking on you, you're like, you get defensive and you're angry and you don't really know what to say. But you're postured around other things. So if, I have 2 little kids, right? So my daughter's almost 7. She's my firecracker, and I have a 3-year-old boy. And so let's say that, if you have kids on here, let's say you're at the park and you're at, you take the kids to the park, you're having a good time, and someone says, hey, is that your kid over there? Yeah, that's my kid. And they say, man, they're ugly. Are you going to convince them? Are you going to try to turn them around? Are you going to try to say, no, they're really cute and they're just having a bad hair day? No, they're actually super sweet. And, if I get, he's got this little bow tie at home and he's so cute. No, you're going to say, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Why? Because you're postured around that. You don't care about their opinion, right? Posture is the belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. So you don't care if they accept, approve, or agree with the look of your kid. Get the heck out of here. You're not studying, how do I overcome that objection, Ray? What exactly do I say to turn them around so they do see my kid as cute? You will never ask that because you have posture. But people ask that about network marketing all the time. And so if someone said to me, those things never work, I say, hey, it's not fit for everyone. Do you know anyone that does want to make some extra money?
But they still try to sell to everybody. Remember that. They try to sell to everybody because they say it works for everybody. Maybe don't lie and say it works for everybody, because obviously it doesn't. Because we all know everybody has different ways of handling things, especially with health and wellness MLMs. Things are going to affect you differently. Doesn't mean they're always good either. So they push the narrative of it's for everybody. But is it for everybody? But like I was saying, if they want to keep saying that's for everybody and then no, it's really not always going to be for everybody, don't put it out there like it can be. So that's just how you do that. You work. You should be more honest with what you're saying. But they're not going to be. So.
And my heart doesn't alter its speed. Like if you had a heart monitor on me, you would see 0 reaction because I just don't care what they think about the industry. I'm not trying to convince them. I'm not trying to turn them around. I'm not trying to, do a dog and pony show or do in the corporate, you have, the CEO and you have the janitor, right? I'm not doing any of that nonsense. I'm not dancing for them. I am not dancing for them. I mean, and just showing up that way, people are kind of bewildered by it, right? And so it's fun. Like having posture when speaking to prospects.
Does posture mean arrogance? Because that sounds what it's coming off to be. It's arrogance. Be as arrogant as possible, and you'll get what you want from people. Doesn't always work that way, though. Just saying.
Equals fun. And so I'll give you a couple examples. So I had this lady in my team, Ashley. She was out of Alabama. And, I'm not a fan of requiring 3-way calls for, every talk or anything like that. But sometimes, hey, I'd get on there and fine. And so we get on with this guy and, and she does a good job. She edifies me. So she did that part right. And this guy says, I've tried a bunch of these things and they never work. That's his opening line to me. And so what would most people do? they'd say, well, this one's different. We're brand new, right? They do a little song and dance. I get a little cane and a hat, right? And they would do this goofy dance that would not work because it would keep the prospect in power and you out of power. Okay. So what would the postured person do? Right. So here's what I did. He said, I tried a bunch of these things and none of them ever worked. And I said, well, what makes this any different? You tell me, what makes this time any different? And he wasn't ready for that. He's like, well, I'm really coachable. See, posture in prospecting equals fun. It's fun. It's not a drag. It's not a stress ball. And so he said, oh, I'm coachable and, I really need to make some money. I'm like, oh, okay, great. And so we can continue. And so we continue. And then he tried it later on the same call. He tried it again. He tried to take the power and he said, well, tell me about the comp plan. And I said, did you know the comp plan of those other companies? And he said, yes, I did. And I said, well, I guess it didn't matter. It's fun. Shouldn't be stressful. Stop stressing.
I'm not really sure what the goal is by saying that. You let me know what you think it is, but it doesn't sound like you're really teaching or helping anybody. It just sounds like you're just putting them down for anything. But that's just my opinion.
Understand this. There's more of them than there are of you. And what I mean by that is there are more people with problems than a solution. See, you have a solution, right? People can solve a lot of things from what you represent. They can solve money problems. They can solve health problems. I don't know what other things you guys got cooking, but they can solve a lot of problems by what you know. And they have problems they don't know how to solve. This guy doesn't know how to make extra money. No clue. But I could show him how. I have a solution. He does not. So why do we get so tangled up when they're skeptical? It's like, whatever, man, whatever. Another example. Oh, so posture, right? Just you knowing what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. I'm not dancing for them. When they pull these little power grabs, I'm just like, oh, whatever, right? And so let's go to position. So position, again, falls underneath pipeline. And position, if you're really frustrated with your prospecting and talking to people, it's probably because you don't understand position. So position is the knowledge of where is the prospect? Where are they? Where are they in the process? And so most people, frustration comes when speaking to other humans. It comes when you're trying, they're disjointed in your offer to where they are. Right. So if you go to your friends and say, hey, you should totally join my team. It's awesome. You make money and stuff. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Right. They're out of position. So position 0 is, I don't know anything about their level of desire for what I'm doing. I don't know if they want to make extra money. I don't know if they're open to it. I don't know anything. Right. And so that's position 0. And you need to assume that everyone's at position 0. You don't know if they're open to taking a look at the product or the opportunity. And so step 1 is find out if they're open. Hey, are you open to taking a look at what I'm doing to make some extra money on social media? They might say no. Okay, great. No problem. Cool. You don't then try to convince them to just give me your credit card, because that's out of position. That doesn't make any sense. Right. And so this is, it should be basic, but it's not. And you'll have a network marketer come in and they go to their friends and say, hey, you should join my team and buy my product. I helped you move in college. And they're like, what the hell does that have? Is this a friend tax? Like, what are you talking about, man? And then that network marketer will go online and say, my friends are toxic. Right? You're asking for money, you're asking for commitment, you're asking for time before you even know if they're interested at all. You're toxic. They're not toxic. Would you ever buy a lumber yard and then hard pressure your friends to buy a 2x4? Hey, get down here, get some plywood. Well, I don't think I need any. Come on, man. Come on. I bought Girl Scout cookies from your daughter. Get down here. No, that would be so strange.
Okay, he makes a valid point in there. I could see what he's saying with that, because you wouldn't want someone coming at you being like, oh, I helped you, so you need to help me. I get that mentality. I understand that it's not a good one. So, like, he's not wrong in that way. In my opinion, I get what he's saying. It's definitely not something you want to do to people that are supposed to be your friends. You should be more kind and understanding. And if you only did buying the Girl Scout cookies out of the pure thought and goal was to get them to join your team, then yes, you did it for the wrong reasons. Yeah. And anyone who wants to buy Girl Scout cookies knows why they want to buy Girl Scout cookies. They're delicious. They're amazing. Thin Mint Samoas and the peanut butter chocolate ones are really good. Those ones are my 2 favorites. But yeah, like, I get what he's saying. He's not wrong there, in my opinion, at least.
But people do it in network marketing literally all the time. And then they say their friends are toxic. How dare they, right? Silliness. Position. So here's the number one thing to know about position. It will change your results. It will absolutely change your results. It's a game changer. And that is, in the absence of progress, fall back on position. Okay? And I'll demonstrate, I'll give you an example, because sounds a little weird, right? In the absence of progress, when I can't move forward, I fall back on position. Okay, so I'm gonna give you one scenario, one example. I recruited hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that hated the video. So I have a company video. I like my company video. I send them company video. They say they hate it. Sad face. Most people would be like, great. Upline, Michael, Amanda, come on, man. The video needs to be better. Come on, guys, step it up, man. That's what most people would do. They would complain about the video because they think the video is the problem. In the absence of progress, fall back on position. Okay, so I mainly just had to get someone to watch the video, because if you're willing to watch a video, you're looking for something. And that's what I'm going to speak to. And so I would say, hey, you open, take a look at what it is that I'm doing, make some extra money. Sure. Great. I got a video, does a better job than I could do of explaining it. Want me to send that over? Great. All right, here it is. Hey, what'd you like about it? Oh, I hated it. It sucked. It was the worst thing ever. I hate your guts for even sending it to me. Oh my goodness. Ooh, wow. Ooh, yikes. I guess the question is, what were you hoping to see? What were you hoping to see? That question has made me tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. What were you hoping to see? And I've never had them say something crazy. Well, I was hoping it'd grow my arm back, right? I was hoping I could pour it out back and Bitcoin would spew like a fountain to the heavens. I've never had them say something crazy. They've always said something we can help with. They said, well, I was hoping I could do it as a single person. It looks like everyone's married. Or I was hoping I could do it at night. Or I was hoping I could, they part-time. Because they just draw a different conclusion from what was presented in the video. And so I never really, I wasn't so uptight about how good is the video. The only thing that, just my personal preference, I don't like, I don't know, I should probably know if you guys do this or not, but I'm not a big fan of sending like I send a 32-second teaser video. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather send a video that has some, at least enough where they can make a decision. I know there's like a trend now where, it's like videos are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And now we're just sending, it's like, hello. And hey, did you watch that? To me, it doesn't make sense. I want to send them something that at least gives them a little bit of meat so they can make a possible decision. But if they watch it, I'm going to fall back on what we're hoping to see. And a lot of times that conversation that happens right there, that's how I get them on board. is just saying, oh yeah, we got plenty of people doing that. We got plenty of people do it part-time. Most of my people do it part-time. Yeah, come on, I'll show you how. Here's another example of position. This will be helpful too. So I had this lady, Amy. She used to be an executive for HBO. She was out in, I assume, Los Angeles, I guess. And she gets me on with a talent, this lady that owned a talent agency that served actors and actresses. And so she made a very fatal mistake. She didn't edify me. She edified the prospect, always a bad idea. And so she was like, Ray, this is whatever, Barbara. This is Barbara. She owns the biggest talent agency in Hollywood and everyone knows her and she's amazing and it's incredible. She's, she's got a huge business and blah, 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 blah. And Barbara, here's Ray. That was my introduction. Here's Ray. And so I'm just a little guy with little arms.
So it seems, in my opinion, it sounded like he did not appreciate the introduction. That sounds like a you problem. Just say. So because, okay, I need to backtrack a little bit more so I can understand this whole thing. Because I need to listen again to why this is a problem.
Or I was hoping I could do it at night. Or I was hoping I could, they part-time, because they just draw a different conclusion from what was presented in the video. And so I never really, I wasn't so uptight about how good is the video. The only thing that, just my personal preference, I don't like, I don't know, I should probably know if you guys do this or not, but I'm not a big fan of sending like I send a 32-second teaser video. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather send a video that has some, at least enough where they can make a decision. I know there's like a trend now where, it's like videos are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And now we're just sending, it's like, hello. And hey, did you watch that? To me, it doesn't make sense. I want to send them something that at least gives them a little bit of me.
I can understand where he's coming from for that aspect, because you want to give enough of an idea to people, but not enough to be like, oh, I don't want to learn more. So I get what you're saying there. So let's go on.
So they can make a possible decision. But if they watch it, I'm going to fall back on what we're hoping to see. And a lot of times that conversation that happens right there, that's how I get them on board, is just saying, oh yeah, we got plenty of people doing that. We got plenty of people do it part-time. Most of my people do it part-time. Yeah, come on, I'll show you how. Here's another example of position. This will be helpful too. So I had this lady, Amy. She used to be an executive for HBO. She was out in, I assume, Los Angeles, I guess. And she gets me on with a talent, this lady that owned a talent agency that served actors and actresses. And so she made a very fatal mistake. She didn't edify me. She edified the prospect, always a bad idea. And so she was like, Ray, this is whatever, Barbara. This is Barbara. She owns the biggest talent agency in Hollywood and everyone knows her and she's amazing and it's incredible. She's, she's got a huge business and blah, 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 blah. And Barbara, here's Ray. That was my introduction. Here's Ray. And so I'm just a little guy with little arms, right? I'm like, hey, baby, right? And so Barbara, of course, she takes on the persona of the big dog, right? So she goes, hello. She even had this like resonance in her voice. Hello, little Ray. Right? She didn't say little, but she might as well have. I'm like, hey, I'm down here. Hello, down there, little home business guy, right? And so that's just how she showed up. She's like, hello, Ray. But she said, I told Amy I'd look at her little home business. How are you doing? I swear to God, that was her line. Hello, Ray. I told Amy I would look at her little home business. How are you today? That's what she said to me. So I'm like this, right? And so this is like from Star Wars, right? She had the high ground, right? I can't recruit her if she's got the high ground, right? She got the high ground. You just can't recruit like that, right? You can't, they're way too important, right? You're going to be fighting an uphill battle. So I have to even it. I get even it, and I get annoyed easily. So I want to even it as fast as possible. Okay. And so I use position, right? well, I guess the combination of posture and position. Okay. So in the absence of progress, I fall back on position. What position am I in? She's on the call. And so I used that. I used posture and position. And so I said, I'm down here. I said, well, I guess I'm a little confused. If your business is so good, why are we on this call?
That seems a bit condescending. Maybe she just thought it'd be good to help someone else just get more knowledgeable, possibly. But if you're going to be rude and then, hey, I don't understand why anyone would listen. Just my opinion. I find if you are rude and condescending to people, they're less likely to listen to you. And if you think that's how you get your point across because you are a man, I don't feel that's great either. Because if women do it, we are called something else. So I don't feel this is in any way helpful if you're going to act like that or better than people just because of what you do. Because in reality, what you do is scam people and are just a jerk, in my opinion. But how he comes across is not helpful. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. Try to work on your tactics more, because if you try less of the arrogance and more of the understanding, I feel like you'd have a better chance. Just my opinion.
And so, and she says, she goes, well, clear to the throat. Well, the business has changed a lot over the years, and I've lost a few clients, and it's gotten a little tougher out here. I'm like, oh, okay. Now we can have a conversation. I can't have a conversation like this. It's just